The Dreadbox NYMPHES, and I'm pronouncing it the Greek way, sounding sort of like Memphis, a city in the US, it is a compact polyphonic synth that's fairly easy to get around once you understand a few of the basic concepts of how it operates. And that's really the intent of this video, to quickly explain some of the same basic concepts that are also described in the NYMPHES Quick Start PDF file. Though there are only 14 sliders on the NYMPHES, by using just the Shift button with those 14 sliders, you can easily access 28 parameters for controlling and programming the synth. When the Shift button is lit, the 14 labels on top of the sliders describe the parameters that each slider controls. When the Shift button is not lit, it is off. Then the 14 labels underneath the sliders are what describe what each of the 14 sliders control. You can either temporarily press the Shift button and it will light up, or you can quickly double-click the Shift button and it will stay lit. Again, it's important to remember, as long as the Shift button is lit, the sliders will control the parameters labeled at the top. The NYMPHES has 49 preset patches and 49 user patches, and accessing both the preset and user patches is fairly easy. To save and load a patch, the process only requires the rotary switch, the Save/Load button, and the Shift button. When the NYMPHES starts up, the default program is set to Bank A, Program 1. The 49 preset patches and 49 user patches are stored in memory locations A1 through G7, that is Alpha 1 through Golf 7. To load a new program, the process only requires you to press the load button, and it will start flashing slowly. Press and hold the Shift button while selecting banks A through G with the rotary switch. And then release the Shift button and select the desired patch, number 1 through 7, with the same rotary switch. Lastly, just press the Load button with a quick click to load a user patch, or with a long press to load a preset patch. That's easy enough. For example, if I wanted to load a user patch B6, Bravo 6, I would press the Load button, which will start blinking slowly. Press and hold the Shift button while turning the rotary switch to B. Release the Shift button, it should not be lit, and turn the rotary switch to number 6. And now this last step is the important part that determines whether I load a preset patch or a user patch, because both a preset patch and a user patch can be stored in the B6 location, or in any location A1 through G7. If I quickly click the Load button, which will begin to flash more quickly, then user patch B6 is now loaded. If I press and hold the Load button until it starts flashing, then the preset patch at B6 will be loaded. Saving a patch is also easily done. Naturally, any patch you save will be saved as a user patch. If I wanted to save a patch to E7, for example, while holding Shift, I press the Save button, which will start flashing after being pressed. To select the E bank, the Echo bank, I need to press the Shift button and turn the rotary switch to E. Next, I release the Shift button and turn the rotary switch to 7. Finally, I press the Save button, which will flash and my patch is now saved. Selecting the various menu items is also fairly straightforward. It's basically just press the menu button, which will light up, and then rotate the rotary switch to the desired menu number. If I want to select Aftertouch, which is menu item 6, labeled After, then I just press the menu button, which lights up. Then when I turn the rotary switch to number 6, and I can assign Aftertouch modulation to any parameter. When I'm done making changes to the Aftertouch parameters, I just need to press the menu button and exit the menu. To use LFO2 or low frequency oscillator 2, simply press the menu button, and while it's lit, turn the rotary switch to option 2. Using the last two sliders and the shift button, you can now control the LFO2 parameters: rate, wave, delay, and fade, and you can program LFO2 as a modulation source. To select the modulation destinations, all you need to do is just move a slider for the parameter that you want to modulate with LFO2. Any of the parameters of the first 12 sliders can be modulation destinations, and with the shift button there are a total of 24 destinations. Where the modulation destination slider is set determines how much the parameter is modulated. If the slider is all the way up, the modulation is 100%. If the slider is halfway up, then the modulation is 50%. And if the slider is all the way down, there is 0% or no modulation for that parameter. Setting up the mod wheel, velocity, and aftertouch modulation destinations is accomplished similarly for all three. Press the menu button, which will remain lit. With the rotary selector, select numbers 4, 5, or 6 for either the mod wheel, velocity, or aftertouch settings. Select the modulation destination or destinations by moving the sliders for the parameters you want modulated, where the position of the slider determines the amount of modulation. Press the menu button to exit. The button light will go off and the NYMPHES is now back in normal operation. As an example, if I wanted to modulate the oscillator level or amplitude with the modulation wheel, I would press the menu button, which is now lit, dial the rotary selector to 4, which is the mod wheel option under menu, adjust the level slider to link the level or amplitude amount to the mod wheel, and adjust it as needed. If the slider is all the way up, the modulation amount will be 100%. If the slider is all the way down, the modulation is 0%, or basically turned off. Then I press the menu button to exit to normal operation. For another example, I could use the velocity to modulate the amount of noise and the amount of LFO modulating the filter cutoff. To do this, I would press the menu button, which is now lit, dial the rotary selector to 5, which is the velocity option or VEL under the menu, adjust the noise slider to set the desired amount of modulation. Then I would press and hold or double-click the shift button so it's lit. Then I could adjust the filter LFO slider to set the amount of modulation. After that, press the shift button so it's not lit, and press the menu button to exit to normal operation. Adding and adjusting the reverb settings for the NYMPHES is easily accomplished using the menu. So, press the menu button, which will remain lit. Turn the rotary selector to 3 for the reverb option on the menu. Adjust the reverb size, decay, filter, and mix using the corresponding size, decay, filter, and mix sliders. Play with that until you get the reverb of your dreams. And then press the menu button to exit to normal operation. If there is a submenu, you may have to press the menu button a second time after making a rotary switch selection, like when selecting the different play modes of the NYMPHES. So for example, if I want to change the play mode from poly to try, then I need to press the menu button, which will light up. Then I rotate the rotary switch to number 1, which is the mode selection value. Then I press the menu button, which will start to flash. Then I rotate the rotary switch to number 4, which is the try mode selection value. And then I hit the menu button, which will rapidly flash, confirming the play mode change is complete, and I am now in the try mode.